If you feel like you're doing everything right, you are following the strategies, joining the programs, you're putting in the work, you're kind of showing up, and it feels like you're checking off all the boxes, but it also still feels like you're spinning in circles, then I need you to understand that it might not be your strategy that is the problem, but more so those underlining destructive habits that are running the show. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 7 destructive habits that I have had to dismantle and get rid of before things really actually started to click for me in my business. And how letting go of these destructive habits helped me to simplify, scale, and actually enjoy what I was building. But before we get into that, if you feel like you're doing all the things and you're not seeing the results that you feel like you should be seeing, that is exactly why I created the Magnetic Visibility Circle, which is our free community. It's where I help entrepreneurs to simplify their visibility, rebuild their consistency, get clarity, gain more confidence and conviction, and create an actual rhythm that supports their flow and their growth as opposed to burnout. So if you're interested in that, we'd love to absolutely have you. The link to join us is below. Now let's get into it. Destructive habit number 1, hiding behind the back end. So I was doing what I'm going to call productive procrastination, which was me being more so in the back end of my business than the front end. I was creating the, sales pages, but I'm learning how to do it from scratch, and, the checkout pages and designing them, making them beautiful. And I was learning how to use this tool, and I'm learning how to use this software and all the things. And listen, having systems and structures and automations in your business can be extremely helpful, and they are highly recommended. But, and at the same time, I realized that I was using these tasks as a way to avoid addressing the fears of visibility and being seen that I was harboring internally inside. So yes, I was creating the systems that had the structure, but what good are all of those things if we're not putting it out into the world to be experienced, for us to be able to test it, all of those things? The back end does not build momentum. Showing up does. Destructive habit number 2, turning sisterhood into a soundboard for negativity. I'm going to be radically honest and admit that I was one of those people who sat in Voxer chats with other women in business and bitched and moaned and complained about the industry, about what other coaches were doing, about clients, about this, about that. There was nothing really empowering and productive about the conversations that we were having. And truth be told, the people that we sat here and talked about were doing significantly better than us anyways. And that should have been the clear sign right there. Hello, we're sitting here and we're talking about these people, but at the end of the day, these people have essentially what it is that we want. And we need to be radically honest with the fact that there's a part of us that might actually be jealous. But here's the thing, it's really not sisterhood if it drains your energy, if it derails you from your goals, your aspirations. So I want you to be really intentional about the rooms that you enter into and the rooms that you decide to entertain and the conversations that you decide to entertain. And if it's not aligned, let it go. Walk away from it. You owe nobody nothing. Allow yourself to be in spaces with women who don't gossip, but who are uplifting each other, empowering each other, finding ways to help each other. This person's got a tip and this person's got a tip, and hey, I tried this and da-da-da-da. You want to have more elevated conversations. Destructive habit number 3, outsourcing my authority to my coaches and my friends. I thought that if I got into a container, I wanted to work with a coach, that whatever that coach was doing, that's what I needed to do. That coach is doing this and they are successful, so I need to do what they're doing exactly how they're doing it, and that's how I'm going to have success. Wrong. I really believed that every time I got into a container, If my coach was doing a live stream every week, I need to do a live stream every week. If they're doing master classes every month, I need to do master classes every month. And I did not allow myself to really sit with, what did Quiana want? How did Quiana want to build this? I am the captain of this ship, okay? I am the final authority. I was outsourcing my power and my authority to other people, waiting for someone else to show up and tell me what to do. But you know what's interesting? I've never seen someone stand on a stage and give a speech about how they came into the success that they have, and stand there in front of the audience and say, I got here because I just copied everything that my coach did, and I just let everybody tell me what to do with my business, and that's how I became successful today. It's never happened, because that's not how the success is built. So instead of getting into containers and allowing myself to just be held and make my mistakes and receive, the guidance and all of that, I just thought, let me get in here and just do what they're doing, and then boom, and then I don't have to worry about anything because they've already done it. They've already made all the mistakes. I don't have to make mistakes. I don't have to fall and trip my way to success like everybody else. Not true. We are all going to make mistakes, and we all have to learn our lessons so that we can actually find our footing, our rhythm, our flow, and create something that is aligned for the kind of person we are, the kind of business we want to have, how we want to actually show up and help people without burning ourselves out or running ourselves into the ground. Good mentorship should amplify your intuition, not override it. And this is exactly why I coach my clients the way that I do in my YouTube mentorship program, because it's not about telling my clients that they have to create videos like me, or they have to create videos like somebody else, or they have to do it this way, they have to structure their video this way, or they have to script this. There's no have tos. There are some basic rules, right? It's kind of like, remember when we used to play Sims and they gave you like a basic body, but then you got to go and you got to change the eyes, and you got to change the arms, right? You got to change the hair, and you can make the hips a little wider and do what you want with the waist and things like that. And ultimately you created the body that you wanted. And so that's exactly what I do with my clients, not giving them this hard structure and saying you have to be like me, you have to do it like me, but it's honoring their individuality, and also in each step honoring their intuition and asking them periodically, but how do you feel about doing this? Or how do you feel about this? Or how do you feel about that? Because they are the captain of their ship, and the decisions that they want to make, I want to make sure that they're standing 10 toes down on that. I encourage my clients, tell me no, or, let me know, like, I don't want to do it like this, or I don't want to do it like that. Like, I love that. I love having clients that just stand in their power. But in order for me to have those types of clients, I have to be willing to be that same kind of client too. Destructive habit number 4, abandoning what works. There have been so many times in my career where I have done something that works. It works. And then I never do it again. I never touch it again. And I know that I probably have like old coaches and mentors watching this. Yep, Quiana, you would do that. I could do a thing, go make money doing it, and then never do it again. I can do a thing, and then like clients, they're getting results and they're manifesting money and amazing experiences and things like that. And then I never do it again. Like, I don't know if maybe perhaps this was a fear of success, because we often talk about the fear of failure, but we don't often talk about the fear of success. And this fear of success and the fear of being able to hold that success, the fear of being able to continue the momentum with this success. What happens if I fuck it up? Oh my gosh. What happens if I lose it all? What happens if things are going well and then boom? And not trusting in myself to be able to hold that, navigate that, So I had this really destructive habit of just creating things that worked, and then I would just drop it, let it go, and move on. Destructive habit number 5, confusing lack of validation with lack of value. This one is going to be so relatable to so many people. It's the posting content and then going ghost because that post got 1 or 2 likes or no likes at all. And that used to be me. I used to think that because I wasn't getting the engagement, because I wasn't getting the comments, because I wasn't getting the likes, that meant that my content wasn't valuable. That was before I even understood like high ticket buyers. A lot of them don't even engage on the content of the person that they will then turn around and go pay 5 figures to. And I know this to be true because that is me as well. I have been in several high ticket containers, and I tell you, I do not engage on their content. I'm not all up in the comment section on their Instagram or their Facebook or in their Facebook group. I might show up to a live stream because that's how I connect with people. I want to get a sense of your personality and your teaching style and things like that. But in regards to the value was always there in their content. I just didn't comment on it. I just didn't engage with it. And so for me, when I didn't recognize that, I was internalizing that, okay, I'm creating this content I think is valuable, but the success metric of the content has to come in the form of comments, likes, shares, whatever. And that's really not always the case. Silence is not rejection. It's space for your audience to calibrate. And you will definitely learn this when you are creating on a platform like YouTube, because it's that long-term game and that you just have to just keep going. You have to keep creating. I have had people that have come to me and they're like, Quiana, my channel isn't working, and I look and it's like, okay, Bookie, but you've posted like 12 times in a year. There's 365 days in a year, honey, and you've posted on 12 of them. And so because you didn't get all the thumbs up and you didn't get all the comments and you're kind of feeling like, okay, my videos aren't valuable enough, that's not the success metric. That's not the success metric, honey. Okay? Destructive habit number 7, focusing on the outcome more than the process. Okay. Now, I am trained in NLP, and so I understand SMART goals and this, and that. However, hear me out. I was so focused on the outcome goal, the big goal, setting the money goal for the month. I was more obsessed with that than I was the process goals. What are the things that I actually need to be doing to move myself closer to obtaining and manifesting the outcome goal itself? It was more like, okay, let's say the goal is 10K in a month, but then what were the actions? I never really sat down to really think about and map out what are the actions that I'm going to take that are going to get me there, right? If I want 100,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, well, it's nice to dream about that goal, to fantasize about it. But at the end of the day, the process goals need to be creating the content, posting the videos, analyzing the videos, tracking, certain metrics, tracking my conversions, this and that, like the process goals. If I want to lose 20 pounds, yes, I can think about that and fantasize it. But if I'm not willing to drop some destructive habits, if I'm not willing to change my eating habits, if I'm not willing to, exercise 3 days a week, if I'm like, whatever the process is, you got to be willing to actually do the process. Become obsessed with the process and honoring the process goals more than the outcome goal. And then eventually you will get to the outcome goal. It's not about the big number. It's about the rhythm that gets you there. So this is just like how I'm working with my students now. And everyone has like their own goal that they're working towards. but I have them break it down into their process goals. It's one of the first things that we do is foundational, is what are our process goals? And even within our process goals, like there's just some additional things like our now actions and our preventative actions, because sometimes life is going to life and we need to know how we're going to handle certain things. But knowing that, okay, we're going to create one YouTube video a week. We're going to have our, our school community, and this is how we're going to nurture, or whatever the case may be. And then this is the flow, and this is the rhythm, and this is how we're moving our ideal client from becoming a viewer to them becoming a client. And having the flow, and then committing not to the outcome goal, but to the process that it's going to take to get us there. Every single one of these habits, these destructive habits, came from a version of me that wanted success, but didn't truly trust herself yet. Once I stopped trying to prove and started to practice, that's when things shifted. My business got simpler, clients came a lot easier, and my visibility just started to feel so much more natural again. If you are ready to simplify your visibility, you're ready to simplify how you're showing up, you're ready to simplify how you're getting your clients, all the things. One, I want to invite you into the Magnetic Visibility community. The link is below. We will take good care of you. But also, I want you to really consider, just reach out to me in my school community. Send me a message so that I can tell you about our 90-day YouTube case study program, where I actually teach you not just how to simplify your business, but how to use YouTube as that main engine to attracting and magnetizing your ideal clients to you in a way that feels natural to your innate skills and abilities and way of being, so that it doesn't feel like you're pushing and trying and there's pressure and all of that. And creating just this simple flow that works for you. Not what works for me, not what works for a different client, but what works for you, honey. The links to everything will be down below. And go ahead and check out this next video, and I'm gonna see you over there.